Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Raymond, a pleasure.
The gentleman who is about to speak to us this morning, apart from being a really very good friend, he's an inspired visionary, a serial entrepreneur. He is an ambassador for peace, equality, love, and the evolution of human consciousness. Tony is paving the way for soulful and heart-centered leadership to be part of our day-to-day life and in everything that we do. He advocates mindfulness, personal development, and coaching as an empowering choice through which businesses, educational systems, governments, leaders, adults, and children can unlock their true potential. This man is known for creating amazing in transforming people's lives. And I've had the opportunity of working with him, and I know the impact that what he does can have on an individual. And I know many other persons in my network who has benefited from the work that he does. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank you and to welcome Tony Selimi to the stage. I also forgot to mention that he's an author, which you already know, right? Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for being here today. I would like to take this opportunity, first of all, to thank amazing organizers for bringing us here together. It requires a lot of courage, a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot of connections to organize an event like this. But it's not just about this event. It is about really a global impact. And all of you are here because deep down inside of you, there is that wisdom, that knowledge, that love, that you want to make a greater contribution and impact. Everybody agrees?
Yes.
Yeah? Yes. You woke up early this morning. What is the earliest time somebody woke up this morning?
5.
5. I'm the 5 o'clock guy. How many of you guys really sleep about 4 hours a day? I'm amongst good people. And those of you who don't, I would really encourage you strongly not to. Why am I here today? I'm really here today to inspire you from within, to inspire you to truly connect the most intelligent person in this room, which is you. Each one of you has in your DNA embedded most tremendous wisdom. Yet, we spend most of our lives asleep until something awakens us. That awakening started for me at a very young age. And for some of you who will be reading the books, and I've just released my latest book called #Loneliness, The Virus of the Modern Age, you will come to understand in your heart the role you're going to play in this world. And the world which we can change. But we can only change it if we are connected. And if we are in places like this where we can connect with most amazing people that normally our circumstances would never meet. Agree?
Yeah.
And it is all about connections. I believe everyone here has a mobile phone. Yes?
Yeah.
Raise your hands. Okay, 1 or 2. 1, 2, okay, I have many. And reason being is they all perform different functions. And those mobile phones, it's amazing when people come to me and talk about technology and how technology can be used as an empowering tool to really create massive change in the world. Yes, I agree. But the greatest empowering tool, it's you. You create the technology. You create everything you're doing in your jobs. So as a coach, as a mentor, as a human behavior specialist, I spent 45 years to understand what makes epic leaders. And I believe each one of you is a leader. And I know that it's not just a belief. The knowing comes from the depth of your hearts. Each one of you knows why you're here. Perhaps you don't have the clarity. Perhaps you have fears. Perhaps somebody told you you're not good enough. Perhaps deep down there is lack of self-worthiness. Perhaps deep down you're comparing yourself with somebody who's more successful. Or perhaps you don't have the skills and you're telling yourself, maybe I need more. Well, let's break that illusion right now. You guys have everything you need to be those epic leaders right here, right now. Agree? Yes. Right, give yourself a big applause for that. And one thing we have in common in here, it's not our minds. I see amazing minds around here, and you all shared your beautiful selves and your beautiful gifts and how each one of you can be of service to somebody. Like it or not, we are here to be that. To be of service. And when we are of service, people become very humble in your presence. Where you are driven from your heart, people connect to you in such coherence that you can create miracles. And it is that connection, heart connection, that is lasting. Because would you agree that each one of us in here have our own thoughts? Yes? Would you agree that none of those match? Yes? But I guarantee you, with my whole life, standing in front of you in here, that your heart knows what love is. Yes? And how many in here have parents who are parents and have children? Okay? A few of you. People who have children, they know exactly what that means. When you truly give that love, unconditional. No matter what your child does, you love. Now imagine if we become like that in our businesses. Imagine if we become like that when we meet people and we don't go with any form of agenda. We go with our curious child. Imagine what we can create together. Everything you see right now, and if you look outside in this amazing view, and if you feel you are standing at the Shard, people who have been here 25 years ago know this wasn't here. And many of the buildings we observed weren't there. So for us to be able to observe this and observe this reality, collectively we create it. Whether you've been part of building this Shard or not, it's irrelevant. One day you are here in this Shard standing together, creating most amazing connections and being part of a network that can help you thrive, make money, connect, have fun, and make greater good for humanity. And when you do that, naturally the energy of your heart increases. And naturally people ask me, how come, Tony, since we've known you, you survive on 4 hours sleep? Because I wake up every morning with being grateful. First of all, I would like you to take this opportunity for you to be grateful to yourselves. To be grateful for all the gifts and all the adversities you may have gone in your life for you to be here. Because it takes a lot of courage. And it takes a lot of courage for somebody like myself to go from the streets to the 24th floor of the Shard speaking to an amazing group of people. This was my story 25 years ago. And my story is your story. And each one of you has a story. And that story, it's worthy. It's worthy beyond what you can currently imagine. 26 years ago, who remembers the war in former Yugoslavia?
Yes.
Okay. I was taken from university at the age of 18, forced to join the army. And I saw the greatest atrocities created by mankind. And I'm sure some of you from Africa, you will know what I talk about. Or maybe other people who've been involved internationally when it comes to conflicts. Now we can observe that in Syria. But that led me homeless in the streets of London. I lost half of my family. Everything I knew disappeared. Everything. I would like you to imagine what it is like to lose something totally and lose yourself. And then question humanity. How is it possible for us to say we are good people and we love one another when we can ignore one another? How is it possible, especially in the 21st century, when we have the most amazing access to intelligence, to education, to knowledge, to coaches, there are quite few in here, to teachers, to educators, to business people who are driven to make a greater good in the world? How is it possible that we still ignore what happens on our planet? And I believe while we're bombing our planet, and while we're creating guns and bombs to really bomb our own mother that holds us all together, we are far from being in our hearts. And I believe businesses, entrepreneurs, leaders are great driving force for us to change that. And for us to be able to create that change globally, we must connect in our hearts. I shed tears like the River Thames that I'm observing right now. And I'm sure each one of you in here, at some point in your life, you've had those tears for whatever reasons. And that drove me to really do everything I can to be the change that I wanted to see in the world. We tend to say words, but when I see people, I pick up lies. And I'm known as the see-through coach amongst my clients. And what is see-through coach? It is somebody who comes in front of you as a mirror to reflect back at you your own greatness. And to reflect back at you things that you are saying but you are not doing. And to engage with you at such a profound, deep level that your DNA changes and it heals yourself from within. And brings that leader inside of you from within. You can interconnect every single dot within yourself to then be the greater change for greater good, for greater impact in the world. So I spent those 10 years in the 90s to really meet most amazing people who helped me go from the streets into graduating with honors at UCL in engineering, management, and psychology, and then climbing the corporate ladder in IT to make a greater difference. Back then, I truly thought technology and being a CIO and being a head of departments and making greater good was my purpose. But deep down, despite that I was working in big companies, I wanted to make a greater impact. I wanted to make more money. I wanted to create things that everybody told me you can't. And one thing I observed in the corporate world is the lack of nurturing of talent and appreciating people, the greatest asset any company has, and not developing people in such a way that basically they open up themselves to really create tremendous contribution in the companies they work. You are being fit in a box, and deep down, the power you possess will not rest until you give that power a vent to come out and to express itself. But the same power that you can create miracles in your life also can destroy your life. So what I've learned, I spent the next 20 years to really invest a lot both in psychology, personal development, coaching, NLP, cognitive behavior therapy, human evolution, science, quantum physics, to understand why some people are successful and they are very grounded. Others are successful and very arrogant. Anyone knows anybody like that? And then, why is it a kid like myself, from losing everything I could lose, made it into a city like London? And why is it I still observe homeless people in the most wealthiest country on the planet? How is it that we can tolerate that? How is it that we can walk by and ignore one another? How is it that we use technology nowadays more than actually looking at people's eyes and connecting with one another? We are driving the society for our phone to become our best friend. And I hope your organization will actually create the balance. Because like it or not, we cannot revert back time nor technology. But what we can do is have a choice and empower ourselves in such a profound ways that places like this can really bring us together at a human level. I meet people who have the greatest networks online, but you meet them in person, they cannot say 2 words.
It's true.
And I believe your heart's intelligence, once unleashed, will create most profound difference in yourself and in everyone you meet. And it is for these reasons, when I experienced redundancy in 2009 from the technology world, when the whole financial markets was crashing and everybody was impacted. Anybody here was made redundant? No? Okay, a few of us. Okay. You will know the word itself, redundant, does not feel good. It feels like a technology. It feels like somebody is just upgrading you and throwing you away, or send you to Africa for that matter. It's true. We don't like it, but it's true. We treat people like that. And that was a great awakening for me. I did not want to be part of that. I did want to service the corporate world in much profound ways, to help leaders, organizations, to bring about mindfulness and to bring about investment in the greatest asset, which is people. On that journey, I had no idea where my next paycheck will come. I had big credit card, and suddenly the income stopped. And suddenly, 20 years down the line, I found myself almost back on the streets. Anybody experience when you go up and then you go down? Yeah? So I said to myself, okay, clearly I have invested over $500,000 in my personal education. And I worked for that. I had no government grants, nothing. And I never even claimed any form of benefits in this country. How can I bring that intelligence? How can I connect everything together? And I went and worked with one of the most amazing coaches on the planet, who actually, it's a great mirror for myself, Dr. John DeMartini. And it was a blessing that came out of nowhere. I went and attended a talk like this, and every word this man spoke, it was like he just plugged it out of my head. I just felt somebody's a copycat of myself. Read the same books, hang around similar people, and it's extremely, extremely driven to teach around the world. And since I was a child, I had the dream. I had the dream, number one, to heal people. Because I spent 2 years in hospital, and my parents were told I will die. And that story, it's further, I go into both books, I talk about what it is to be in that space where your parents are losing your child. That, even though I was dying, I could not stop going around the hospitals to touch people's hands and make them feel good. Especially people who were dying from cancer and leukemia, because they were close to my word, which is the children's word for heart diseases. And this is the first time I've actually experienced out-of-body experiences. But nobody was able to truly explain this to me until much later in life, when I actually met top scientists who actually study that. And the only person I could really talk about this was my grandfather. So that dream for me to heal people was instilled from the moment I was born, with the illnesses and adversities I faced back then. But also my grandfather, who said, one day you'll be a master healer around the world and you will have a home in every home. I did not understand that back then, but I do now. And it is my mission, my vision, to honor that. The other dream I had, I used to be amazed by superheroes. Anybody has a superhero in here? Go on. Are you shy? No? Okay, we have few of us. My superhero was Superman. So here we go. And you know, I used to observe and I said, imagine really having those powers, being able at a split of a second to go around the world and truly, truly make a difference. Little I knew that 26 years down the line, that dream will come true. And what I would like to share with you guys today, it's yesterday, after a day of consulting people. I start working at 7, usually finish at 10 in the evening. I came home after our meeting, and I received this card.
Hero.
And this card, I would like to say thank you to this special lady from America. She's a singer and songwriter, Lori Cogner. And the words, I'll share this card with you, are very beautiful. It touched my heart. Not my mind, my heart. And I picked up the phone and I called her to thank her personally. She's read both of my books and she's a massive fan, a massive singer-songwriter in America who truly wants to breathe this and bring the work and the wisdom that I share on the planet through her music. So another way to create that. So this is the first card I really received as an acknowledgement of my dream when I was a kid. And it's, I believe each one of you here are somebody's hero, like it or not. You might know it, you might not, but you are somebody's hero. And in my mission also is to really create more heroes around the planet. My name is Tony J Selimi. Living your life in peace is priceless, but being in your heart is timeless. Thank you.